Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Melinda and today I'm going to be sharing a video about what I've learned during the first year of being a mom because I have a little boy named Liam and he is going to be 1 in just 1 week. So yeah, I thought it would be the perfect time to share a few things that I've learned during this time. And my son Liam is sitting next to me on the floor, so if you hear noises, it's just going to be him down there on the floor. But anyway, the first thing that I would have to say is that being a mom is just plain hard, no matter how many kids you have. And for me, the start of my motherhood journey was really rough. I was in labor with Liam for 3 days, and in the end, we had to have an emergency C-section. So as you can imagine, that recovery process was really hard, and it was not only physically challenging, but it was also emotionally challenging. And my husband did a wonderful job of helping me, and he was always there for me as much as he could be. He did have to work most of the time, but whenever he was there, he always helped and was very good about making sure that I didn't do too much, and he would literally do all the laundry and whatever cooking needed to be done. He did a really good job, so that was awesome. But yeah, so the first part of it was just really hard for me, and there were days that I would just cry because it was so hard, and recovering from all of that labor plus the C-section and then having to deal with a newborn baby, it was just really rough. And then when Liam was about 3 months old, we moved from California to Arizona, and that was actually, I don't know if that was harder than the actual recovery from birth, but it was extremely difficult. Like, I didn't really know anybody in the area, and it was just a really rough time. And I was actually really mad about being a mom because I thought, well, if I wasn't a mom, I could go out and get a job, or if I wasn't a mom, I could go out and make friends. And I would sort of make excuses for myself that I was stuck because I was a mom. But I am a believer in God, and even though I was struggling and having a rough time, I was praying about it and asking God what He wanted me to do and what He wanted my life to look like. And so He began to work in me, and He began to use things that were really difficult to really change me and make a difference for me. So some of those things were that it was all like rooted in my mindset. I had this mindset that Liam was in the way of me being like able to make friends, and he was in the way of what I could do. But then God began to show me that I'm not a victim of being a mom, and that motherhood is a tool that He's using to change me, and that I can do things with Liam. And I don't have to not have a kid in order to have friends. I don't have to not have a kid in order to be happy. And I would say that my number one struggle during the past year was just feeling the loss of independence, and I felt really lost in like figuring out how to do things and how to manage a kid. And so it was really difficult, but eventually I began to learn. My mindset began to shift from like, I can't do this, to I can do this. And as my mindset shifted, that was when things began to change. And in the church that we were going to, I began to make connections and friends, and things actually started to get really good, and I began to really enjoy being a mom. And now I would not trade this little boy for anything. He has become the sunshine of my life, and even though it's really challenging and hard still, and I'm sure it will continue to be challenging. I just love him to death, and I'm learning how to handle the challenges in a way that makes me better and stronger, rather than making me think that I'm a victim and that I can't be a good person, I can't take care of myself. And I began to learn how to take personal responsibility like I have never had to before. And like, if I want to have time to take a shower, then I have to get up early enough to take a shower before Liam wakes up. Or if I want to have some time to write in my journal, I have to make sure that gets done. And it might mean that I have to give up doing something else. I might have to give up, working out. I might have to give up doing whatever. But like, it's sort of like a balance. You have to learn how to manage. One day I might have time to write in my journal. The next day I might not have time. But it's all just, Liam, you're being so loud. It's all just like a balance, and you eventually figure it out, even though it takes time. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself a lot, but I would say that, being a mom obviously takes a lot of self-discipline and sacrifice. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned was that being a mom is like a death to yourself, because you can't always put yourself first. You are now 100% responsible to put your kids first, kids first, and you have to take care of them, whether you're sick, whether you're on your period, whether you're tired, whether you're hungry, whatever. You have to put your kids first, and that's like the tricky thing. And also taking care of yourself and making sure that you get the rest that you need and the time that you need. Which brings me to my next point, which is your marriage after you have a kid is going to take a lot of intentional work, and like, you no longer have that just time with your husband that you did before. And so it's going to take a lot of intentionality to still have that time together. And one thing that was very helpful for us was taking date nights and sticking to that regularly as possible. And another thing that I learned was that your attitude towards your husband is extremely important. Like, it's almost like what will make or break your marriage is if you have an attitude towards your husband that is demanding and acting like he's awful because he doesn't wash the dishes often enough or whatever. That will literally put a strain on your marriage that will break it. But if you choose to have, again, not a victim mindset towards your husband, but you choose to be grateful for him, for what he does for you, for working so that you can be a stay-at-home mom, if you are a stay-at-home mom or whatever. It's like, if you have to choose to not be a victim towards your husband and be grateful for what he puts in your life. And if he really doesn't have a good attitude, that doesn't give you a ticket to have a bad attitude. You still have to choose to have a good attitude, even though he might not. And eventually that will change him, and it will soften him, and he will become actually grateful for your attitude towards him. Because a woman who is nagging and who is ungrateful will never have a happy husband. But a woman who chooses to be grateful and to be thankful for her husband will eventually earn his respect. So yeah, I would say that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!